Hello, everyone. Hope you guys have written today's questions and the answer to those questions. So, the topic today was from GS4 ethics section. Let us delve deep into what the question was all about and how we should have approached the given question. And as I have already asked you guys again and again, please go and get your answers evaluated on Collector Babu. This will be very beneficial for you in the long run, where you start practicing mains answer writing. So let us understand how we are going to approach this question. Okay, let's begin. Yes, yes. Okay. This is the question which is on your screen right now. What do you understand by moral integrity and professional efficiency in the context of corporate governance in India? Illustrate with suitable examples. So, what are we going to do in this question? Firstly, we will actually define what corporate governance is. Then, we will explain what moral integrity is. Then, we will explain what professional efficiency is, and we'll give examples in each of the subheading. So, it's a fairly straightforward question from the topic of corporate governance, where we can define corporate governance as the introduction. Further, we can also give the name of certain committee like like Kotak Committee, Birla Committee, also Cadbury Committee, etc., which were related to corporate governance in India. Okay. Then the first part, which is moral integrity in corporate governance in India. Moral integrity is an unconditional and unwavering commitment to moral principles such as compassion, honesty, integrity, etc. Okay, so this is the first point which you will be writing about what moral integrity in corporate governance actually means. Okay, how the business practices should commit to a morally strong standpoint. It will ensure greatest good of the greatest number. For example, CSR scheme by Tata Group, because Tata Group contributes a lot more to CSR than is actually mandated, which is 2% of last 3 years average profit. Okay. And the third part, we can talk about a few models like trusteeship model, which Gandhiji gave about moral integrity. We'll give some examples of Seva. We'll give some example of Mahindra Logistics inclusion of LGBTQ. You'll get some more of these examples by two tools. First, you can actually read newspaper and you'll be getting some good examples, and actually three tools. The second one would be ChatGPT. You can generate a lot of examples for ethics from ChatGPT. And third one would be to go to your notes of various books, not particularly to this question, but for basically ethics question. You can quote a lot of examples from polity, from history, and even from economy section, from governance, etc. And then professional efficiency in corporate governance in India. Professional efficiency is the aptness to do a particular work. The competence refers to the ability to produce the greatest amount of task and labor with least amount of time and effort. That is highest productivity. And professional efficiency is required to increase the productivity of the employees so that it can minimize the pain and maximize the pleasure. So because it is ethics question, you don't have to use a lot of economics jargon when you will talk about efficiency or productivity. You have to deal with it in a way such that you take into account the social and ethical principles. For example, talking about minimizing the pain and maximizing the pleasure, which is a utilitarian principle. So we can just conclude by saying, thus, it is clear that moral integrity and professional efficiency are crucial to realize the objectives of corporate governance in India. Let's move on to the second question. Corruption is the manifestation of the failure of core values in society. In your opinion, what measures can be adopted to uplift the core values in society? So, here we'll do two things. Firstly, we will actually talk and discuss about the code, how corruption is a manifestation of failure of core values. Okay. And in the second part, we'll talk about the measures. First, you can define corruption, you can give this definition, or you can give the definition of Transparency International. Further, you can also talk about India's ranking in the corruption index released by Transparency International. Okay, let's see. Corruption as a manifestation of failure of core values, which we'll be talking about. For example, erosion of honesty and trust. Okay, you can actually discuss it a little bit, or you can just write as the societal integrity wanes, which is a celebrated virtue, it is overshadowed, leading to rampant corruption. Okay, you don't need to actually write this much. This is just for your understanding. You can talk about example, modern societies rely more on contractual obligation than a person's word. Okay, because now there is erosion of honesty. Earlier days, when you would lend to your friend, you wouldn't want a written check in uh, as a guarantee for that money you have lent, or you wouldn't want it written on a stamp paper, because honesty was a virtue that was highly appreciated, and you knew that if a person said they would do it, you would rely on it. But now you need whatever you give in contractual obligation, because there has been an erosion of trust and honesty and integrity, which are the core values of society. We'll talk about shift in values of empathy, as has sidelined social consciousness and empathy. Community welfare projects are often overlooked in favor of personal enrichment schemes. Okay, you can talk about actually how much there has been corruption in MG Narega schemes as well, right? Lifestyle, you can talk about lifestyle materialism, a shift towards individualism, and people living a luxurious lifestyle, and people flouting social rules or even laws by any means possible, which is a manifestation of erosion of values. We'll talk about education of social societal model rules, how the society has actually gotten influenced by wrong role models. You can give some examples like some of the Big Boss uh, participants, how they have wrongly influenced this generation, or how some of the influencers have wrongly influenced the generation today. So we'll be talking about it, but yes. So what we are going to do is now talk about the measures needed to uplift the core values of society. We'll talk about promoting social engagement. So here you just don't need to talk about measures related to combating corruption, but to uplift the core values of society. So do not give a lot of legal or institutional measures, but a lot of social values, okay, which will help in uplifting the core values. Okay, you'll talk about emphasis on moral education and also socio-economic inequality, how tackling disparities could reaffirm the values like unity and integrity. Okay, so community driven initiatives can uplift economically disadvantaged regions. You can also give some examples here of some IS officers or some social service or some or some people involved in social service, how they have actually helped to uplift core values of society. For example, you can talk about Baba Amte, his emphasis on helping people. You can talk about Bezwada Wilson, his emphasis on getting rid of manual scavenging. It will be very beneficial. Then, an integrated society is able to raise its voice against unethical practices like corruption, and giving voice to the voiceless in society is helpful. So, the third question, which again I have discussed in the previous session, people generally tend to make a lot of mistakes in this session. It is the code section. Let's dissect how we will deal with this question. The simplest acts of kindness are by far more powerful than 1,000 heads bowing in a prayer. Okay, bowing in a prayer. So, The above quote of Mahatma Gandhi means that small acts of kindness can have big impact on the world. It highlights the needs of genuine acts of compassion and goodwill toward the other and can be more significant and meaningful influence on the world and people's life. So, here you will also find a similar quote, which is a similar sentiment that is echoed by Swami Vivekanand, where he talks about service of Jiva is more important or is as important as the worship of Shiva, where he equates the act of kindness and helping people in this earth in need is far more important than bowing before lords. Okay, so gods. So the sentiment echoed is more or less the same. What you can do is use Swami Vivekanand's idea as conclusion, or you can write the conclusion in same format as I have written here. Mahatma Gandhi's assertion on the potency of kindness over ritualistic prayer underscores the essential role of tangible actions in bringing about positive change. Okay, see how we'll deal with the body part is by talking about the importance of the acts of kindness, because that is what is being asked here. The simplest acts of kindness are more powerful than bowing before God in prayer. Okay, direct impact. Simple acts like volunteering or supporting friends offer immediate benefit. We can talk about COVID-19's police effort and talk about how actually people, for example, Sonu Sood, they also actively participated in helping people in need, especially the migrants. You can talk about Sonu Sood here. Okay, we'll talk about positive ripple effect, pay it forward. Okay, we'll talk about an uplifting shared morality, like small acts of kindness can shape our collective humanity. Okay, like massive donation to PM Cares showcased collective kindness. You can also talk about well, you will get plenty of examples from COVID-19 itself, because that was such an adversity where a lot of people came together. We'll talk about human values. Kindness encourages true human bonds, nurturing community feelings and empathy. We'll talk about Christmas truce during World War One from French, German, and British soldiers. Also, you can actually give some example of civil servants. You will give example of Swarashi Shomavanshi IS. So what she did was she donated her AC to a school because it was very hot, and she donated it from her office, not using it herself. We'll talk about that level of kindness and compassion. You can talk about Dalai Lama, his true emphasis on compassion and kindness, and then you will conclude by this. So what we have understood here is that ethics is not as difficult as people generally think. If you write decent answer with good examples, you will be able to get good marks. And for that, you need to get your answers evaluated, which you will get it on Collector Babu. So please go and get your answers evaluated. It will be very helpful. So take care and keep writing. Bye bye.